Hi, my name is Antonis and I am the iconographer of this video. Thank you all so much for being here, for asking questions, participating in the comments section, and I'm very happy that many of you tell me that you become better and better iconographers just by watching these tutorials, and this gives me the power to continue and upload more videos, more content for you. Please consider subscribing to this channel. More videos are about to be uploaded, and it's great. We already have 700 subscribers. It's really great. If you feel like supporting more actively this channel, please visit patreon.com and my profile there, and you can be supportive financially there as well. Today I'm painting the holy face of Saint Nectarius. Saint Nectarius is one of the saints of the 20th century. He was bishop of the island Aegina in Greece, and he is one of the most famous modern saints in the Orthodox world, famous for his miracles, and he is very alive saint, a very alive saint. His life is very interesting, and he was persecuted from the church itself. He was accused, and he has a really interesting life. Many people testify how when praying to Saint Nectarius, they feel comforted, and their mood changes. Saint Nectarius. Again, my grandmother was very fond of him. She had many icons of Saint Nectarius and many photographs of Saint Nectarius in her bedroom. So anyway, you see me here painting, having painted the Proplasmos of Saint Nectarius. In reality, it's not as bright. It's a little bit darker. This video is overlighted, I guess. And after the Proplasmos, you see me now painting the Grapsimata, the darker Grapsimata, his facial characteristics. And this brings me to the concept of today's video. I was planning to talk about how should we paint a saint, a modern saint, when we know his face from photographs or from videos. Should we paint a saint photorealistic, as we know him from the photograph, or should we paint him with the conventions of the Byzantine iconography? I see many people painting icons for some churches. They paint Saint Paisios, Saint Porphyrios, many modern contemporary saints. Often iconographers paint these saints photorealistically, as if they were the portraits of the saints that they are depicted. They are using their photographs or screenshots of videos, and they paint the icon in a very real, detailed way, where they paint the last wrinkle of the face of the saint, or the last mole, or everything. In my point of view, this is not a suitable, appropriate way for an icon that is going to be in a church. Of course, we can paint a saint whichever way we like, but I think the icons that are meant to be in a church, they should follow some specific conventions. One of these conventions is that the person depicted shouldn't be painted in a very realistic style, because this doesn't help the mind to pray and to think of the real saint. When we pay our honor before an icon, we think of the real person that is depicted. We don't pay our honor to the wood or the colors or the gold leaves that are in front of us. We honor the real person and our mind should go to the real person. And the Byzantine style there is very helpful, because our mind is not trapped by the details and the realistic way a saint is painted. But all these conventions that the Byzantine style uses helps our mind to think of the real saint in heavens. Now, if I go to church and the iconographer has depicted Saint Nectarius in all his human form, so realistically, with all his wrinkles, all the details of his skin, his face, that image, that icon, will not help my mind pray and pay honor to the real Saint Nectarius. Yes, I see a photographic image of Saint Nectarius, but that image is not helping me pray to Saint Nectarius, which is in the heavens. I hope I make sense myself. It's very clear to me. It's as if we cancel centuries of iconography when we paint in a photographic style. Another thing is that from now on, every saint that will be canonized will be depicted in a photorealistic way. Why? Well, I know that for many iconographers, it's a way to exhibit their skills, their talents, and it's always very impressive when people say, "Oh my God, this looks like a photograph." It's very, very impressive and very fulfilling to paint somebody in a naturalistic way, but we should consider that this has no place in a church. Yes, you can paint Saint Nectarius, Saint Paisios photorealistically if you want a painting for your house or for your studio or whatever. But when this icon is supposed to be in a church where people will pay their honor to the image, then I don't think we should paint in a realistic way. This is something that church should consider as well, and express express an opinion on that, because many priests allow such images to be exhibited in their church without thinking that with this way they cancel Byzantine iconography, and just to be impressive or to have an icon that depicts a saint in all his human form. I know that many iconographers disagree with this opinion of mine, but to me it's crystal clear that this is how things should be. When we are about to paint a modern saint, a saint that we have photographic documents of his appearance, like here with Saint Nectarius, then in my opinion we should of course use and take under our consideration his photographs, and transform his characteristics into the Byzantine style and the Byzantine conventions. I don't think that we shouldn't respect his natural appearance. Of course, we should check the photographs, but we shouldn't be confined by these. So for this image of Saint Nectarius, I did check some photographs of him, and I tried, when I drew his face, I tried to transfer some of those characteristics on the face. Of course, I didn't notice his exact nose, and I didn't copy the exact nose from the photograph or the exact eyes. I drew the eyes the way Byzantine style draws the eyes and the nose, etc. But I tried to to place these characteristics in such a way that they would remind at the end the holy face and the holy form of Saint Nectarius. I hope I make sense. I know it's a very subtle subject, and people have strong opinions about this subject. But I do hope I made my opinion clear, and you guys agree with this opinion. Again, feel free to express any opinions, ideas below. So here, after I painted my γραψίματα, you see me painting the φωτίσματα of Saint Nectarius. I've already painted the first φώτισμα. Then I blended the first φώτισμα to my προπλασμός. Then I painted my second φώτισμα in the form of ψημιδιά. Some pyrodismi, that is the reddish tones that are applied very thinly on the cheeks and the forehead of Saint Nectarius. And now I'm painting the last ψημιδιά. You can always watch some of my previous videos for a more detailed process of how I paint the faces and the ψημιδιές. Saint Nectarius, in some of his photographs, looks a little bit on the right. He doesn't look directly to the viewer. Of course, we are not confined by that. I could make paint Saint Nectarius looking directly to the viewer, but I chose to follow his gaze on the photograph. It was a really nice gaze, a really nice look that he had, and very characteristic of him. So I paint him looking slightly to the right, and in the photograph he did have this look of So I definitely wanted to depict suffering on the face of Saint Nectarius. He really had a very harsh life, and he did feel a lot of pain during his lifetime. So now you see me painting the hair and the beard of Saint Nectarius. Again, I see many iconographers that are painting beards in a very naturalistic, soft way. I think when we paint a modern saint, we should paint the hair and the beard in a softer way, but not completely without regarding the conventions of the Byzantine style. So I wanted to paint a more soft beard for Saint Nectarius, and here I paint a first layer of a thin, transparent, grayish tone. I try to be painterly and remember that this is a painting as well, and there should be values here, painterly values. The second layer of on the beard of Saint Nectarius. Here I will try to define some shapes. For the first layer, I used black, white, and maybe some yellow or some ochre. Just a thin, transparent grayish tone. For the second layer here, I added some white on my first layer and just a tiny little bit of blue. Here I try to be more concise. No, I think more precise, I guess. My English is horrible, but anyway. So I try to be more precise and paint the shapes in a more Byzantine style. I really enjoy this step on the beard because it just makes the icon pop, and you can start seeing Saint Nectarius in a very nice form. Of course, when we paint, we are not robots, we are humans, and it's nice to see some brush strokes being off, let's say. When I was younger and a student of iconography, I was negatively surprised by some frescoes of Theophanes where he would be, say, not as precise or not very, say, mastery. It was as if these paintings were painted in a hastily way. But now I do appreciate these as well. We are humans, we are not robots, and we can make some mistakes on the icon. Of course, these mistakes shouldn't be blatant and they shouldn't be, say, technical. They should be on the form. Sometimes some icons are so perfect that they are dead. Of course, there are icons that are perfect and they are not dead at all. They're just beautiful and perfect and wonderful. So here, as a third layer, I try to blend my second layer just to smoothen it a little bit, since Saint Nectarius was a modern saint, and modern beards in the photographs do not have these forms. So I just try to soften it a little bit, although now that I do the edit, I think that maybe I should have left it in a more strict Byzantine form. Anyway, this is up to you, of course, how much you will make these beards appear naturalistic or less naturalistic. I soften the second photisma by adding a third thinner layer of second photisma and first photisma. Now this is the fourth layer on the beards, where I redefine my shapes and paint the highlights. Here, of course, you see me painting in a speed way. I do not paint so fast, and you should always take your time when you're painting. This is my advice, that my best advice I could give to beginner iconographers, that take time, do not be in a hurry, and when you paint in a hurry and without thinking, then you probably are in the wrong path. We should be in an alert and trying to copy and to consider every brush stroke that we paint. So you see the beard appearing little by little. Please consider subscribing to this channel if you find the content helpful and if you become better iconographers. It's really nice that we have reached 700 subscribers. It's really wonderful, and that you guys are learning and you become better and better. I will answer as many questions as I can, and you can always find me on Patreon and support me there as well. So as you can see, Saint Nectarius, even if he's painted here in a strong Byzantine style, he still reminds us of Saint Nectarius. People can guess that this is Saint Nectarius, even if I haven't told them so. So the same thing can happen with Saint Paisios or any contemporary saint. Anyway, thank you all again for being with me, for commenting, subscribing, asking questions. It's really nice that we are a group of people interested in the Byzantine iconography. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. Bye.